The entertainment sector has consistently was amazing because of how fast it makes folks feel better merely to see them fail. We're currently seeing a especially intriguing instance with the career path of Rachel Zegler. What makes it worthwhile to talk about this situation isn't just another gaffe by a famous person. The industry is experiencing a perfect storm, incorrectly estimating the audience's disapproval and total tone deafness occurring in real life. It's time to discuss what's happening. Zegler's stage debut in Evita in London. It is expected to be her third consecutive setbacks in the workplace. Seating has a negative impact on ticket sales. Charts for the enormous London Palladium Seas of Green, at a 2,200-seat venue, showing unsold seats were conversing regarding performances that are weeks away from almost no tickets for the opening night, bought even at the £29 entrance price. £50 is approximately equal to snacks and a movie ticket. What's really telling is how Zegler's group is reacting to this circumstance instead of recognizing the essential problems. According to reports, they are blaming internet criticism of the subpar ticket sales. The strategy of deflection disregards a clearer explanation for the general public. Apathy. It's not that individuals are intentionally refusing to watch the show, they just don't care enough to purchase tickets. Initially, the pattern turns into more evident while viewing Zegler's past West Side Story productions that Spielberg's big break underperformed at the theater in spite of enormous advertising campaigns and industry assistance. Instead of re-evaluating after this, Hollywood doubled as the first warning sign, putting her in the role of Snow White in what happened after Disney's live-action remake was a tremendous PR catastrophe. Zegler is making a lot of contentious remarks made during the press trip that made the movie's primary audience. Her remarks regarding the Snow White's initial strangeness and out of date, calling the prince a stalker and ignoring the romantic tale essential to the traditional story that was substantial blowback. These weren't merely brief comments, they were given with a certain smugness that implied disdain for the original content and the viewers who loved it. The outcome fallout was more than just internet chatter. Appeared in the movie's subpar performance and hurt Zegler's reputation. Picture what's going on with Evita right now. Isn't the only act, it's the third in creating a story about an actress who consistently get first-rate opportunities, yet are unable to turn them into an audience. Assist the theatrical industry, which may have been a new beginning in opportunity to showcase her skills in various media, appear equally disinterested in her offerings. The industry's reaction has been instructive. Additionally, there is a discernible silence from cast members, co-stars, and the industry colleagues who would normally be promoting manufacturing of this quality. No social media posts from behind the scenes, don't vivacious interviews regarding employment. Collectively, no discernible support system, forming an industry coalition around Zegler, where this stillness is all about the image speaks for itself. Media coverage has also changed significantly. Publications that Zegler was once praised as a new voice and up-and-coming stars are now combining qualifiers such as contentious and divisive when talking about her. The tone has evolved from a festivity to warning that is subtle but important, a sign of her evolving position inside the sector. What's arguably most the intriguing thing about Zegler's apparent unwillingness to acknowledge the circumstances. Instead of protesting she keeps growing or becoming more self-aware to increase the use of cryptic social media posts and an attitude that implies she is misinterpreted instead of more accountable for her present situation. The distance between her reality and perception appear to be huge, and she's losing what little goodwill it costs her. She had departed. This is not a cancellation, internet trolls, or culture. It's about fundamental psychology of audiences. People don't appreciate supporting artists in general who seem to despise them or the things they adore. When Zegler disregarded the traditional aspects of Snow White, she wasn't merely reviewing a movie, was ignoring the emotional bond millions of individuals were affected by that tale. That strategy rarely results in you to prospective ticket purchasers, irrespective of your degree of skill, the consequences are far-reaching. Not only low ticket sales or bad press, there are rumors going around. In business circles, Zegler is getting recognized as a burden rather than merely a artistic risk, but a commercial one. Studios and manufacturing firms spend millions in initiatives, and having a lead whose name is produces project success radio instead of then excitement is increasingly perceived as troublesome. This has nothing to do with her acting prowess, but regarding the baggage she currently contributes. Sources to any project indicate that casting directors are in private, referring to something as uninsurable when examining Zegler for possible positions. This code for the industry doesn't actually indicate that she is unable to obtain insurance, that having her involved in a project carries substantial financial and public relations risks, that many people refuse to take on projects that may have included her name, are said to be recast using schedule conflicts, are mentioned as the diplomatic justification for why this. What's more amazing about the whole affair is how it has happened in a matter of years. Zegler was the breakthrough finding in the past, selected by Steven Spielberg himself from thousands of auditions, appear to destined to become a superstar. She possessed the complete support from major film studios and a Golden Globe victory in most roles. Actors strive for decades to get the rapidity of that story has collapsed shows how brittle, when not, industry support may be, strengthened by genuine crowd fervor. The theater industry that Zegler may have wanted to offer a chance for a reset functions differently than Hollywood, although eventually reacts to the same market forces. Theatergoers are frequently more allowing celebrities to make mistakes if while performance is important, they're also extremely informed and possess a high standards. London's empty chairs Palladium is a very vicious kind of popular disapproval due to the fact that there's no streaming, no algorithm to blame, figures to control, just the stark image of tickets that were unsold weeks prior. Opening evening, the relationship between the performer and audience are essentially damaged in Zegler's instance, in contrast to what her group may think, that viewers aren't dismissing her due to organized internet campaigns, they just aren't satisfied that she merits their consideration or cash. The entertainment sector operates under the fundamental premise that the performer contributes something worthwhile and the audience gives their support in response. When that exchange keeps failing, no quantity of industry or publicity relationships can compel a relationship that isn't. Staff personnel behind the scenes and production workers are said to share issues related to Zegler's work projects. These unheralded experts, the stage managers and costume designers, lighting technicians, as well as numerous others who make productions work without having the luxury of escaping challenging circumstances. They depend on seamless productions to support themselves, and word spreads quickly when someone produces turbulence on a regular basis. Zegler is further harmed by whisper networks, operating in a sector that, in spite of its size, functions similarly to a small town when it. Regarding reputations, experts in theater observe the peculiar ambience surrounding the manufacture of a vita is usually a well-known lead in a musical creates buzz in the theater industry. Expected reviews and industry rumors, insider information regarding the rehearsals, comparatively quiet discussion of this production indicates that individuals are continuing to their separation in order to observe how things unfurl instead of affixing their names or names to what might develop into a prominent letdown. Fan groups that previously supported Zegler is displaying symptoms of exhaustion, as specifically the social media sites that formerly acted as her strongholds. Advocates now conduct discussions with a distinctly different tone, comments such as, "I wanted to cheer her on, but enough is enough," sufficient, and conversations regarding emotions disappointed with her persistent actions show that even her main audience is having trouble maintaining zeal. The industry's silence is the most telling, shifting the position of those who previously proudly connected to Zegler in pictures and interviews are now continuing to press tours conducted by professionals at a distance are having a different group structure, interviews as opposed to individual media. It is said that trainers are being consulted. These little changes show that the industry acknowledges the issue, but is attempting to steer right without recognizing the situation in public. Classic Hollywood ploy while interacting. What's going on with damaged goods? Zegler is a business, not a personal one. The entertainment sector functions on return on investment as well as when someone continuously falls short of audience expectations. Participation in spite of substantial resources. Having a stake in them, the answer is dependable. The sector doesn't have to formally cancel anyone, it just ends. Calling opportunities discreetly fade away and focus turns to the next possible celebrity who may genuinely relate to the future of Zegler's audiences. Seems more and more constrained. This isn't only about surviving a little storm of negative publicity, it concerns basic concerns about her feasibility as a let performer with the ability to drive tickets, sales or audience size. The sector can forgive a lot of things, but they keep happening. Financial setbacks seldom ever make such list in the absence of an important course update. It appears that her professional path suggested supplementary positions instead of compared to the starring role she's been provided up to this point. What makes this situation that is especially informative is, in retrospect, it appears to have been preventable. Zegler went to her press for Snow White tour with even rudimentary regard for the source content, recognizing its historical significance while being sensitive. Recommending the latest version be updated would center the story on her, would probably be entirely different. Instead, her seeming contempt for the resources that gave her opportunity caused a difficulty with perception that has accompanied her throughout her efforts with media formats. The psychological this circumstance has an intriguing aspect. Additionally, there is a discrepancy in how Zegler seems to think of herself as a brave voice against outmoded narratives, considering how viewers view her as someone who is unappreciative and contemptuous of cherished cultural touchstone. This a feedback gap has been created, cycle in which she tries to address criticism frequently makes the very issue she's working to resolve alienating the industry's prospective backers. Veterans emphasize that this kind of however, there are precedents for career implosion. Few things have happened so widely in the social media era. Celebrities who gained a reputation for being challenging may have faced difficulties contained in business circles for years before the general public learned about it. Every interview is now conducted instantly. Examined each social media post in detail. Examined, speeding up both the decline of public personalities in unprecedented methods. What's intriguing regarding the particular circumstances surrounding Evita is that plays usually profit from controversy. People frequently purchase tickets out of interest when there's talk about a show that's either negative. The reality that despite disputes drives ticket sales, doesn't it suggest the problem is not only unfavorable attention but total apathy, which is much more